Thank you so much, Mariela. We have some questions for you, and I would like to start with Elia Guadalupe Arce asking, how can we make sure microlearning is significant?
Okay, that's a great question. And that has to do with this first step in embarking on a microlearning journey. You have to find your needs, or you have to set your development goals. And not all the teachers are going to need to develop the same skills. Perhaps very novice teachers will need a range of basic teaching skills. But once we progress in our careers, we will spot different areas of opportunity or areas of interest that we wish to develop further. And that's what continuing professional development is about. It's finding new questions and trying to find new answers, or trying to upgrade certain skills in our belt. This is why as a teacher manager, or I imagine directors or administrators find it so hard to offer a program that is standardized for all teachers, because we need to allow for differentiated learning. And that's why one of the beauties of microlearning and this idea of having a self-directed CPD program is that teachers should be able to choose what is significant to them and to the challenges that they face in the classroom. A remote teacher of adults is not going to have the same issues or needs as a face-to-face primary teacher in a low-resource context. So it's the needs are different and the opportunities for learning are different, and everything should start with a bit of reflection of what it is that I want to learn that will be meaningful to me.
Exactly. And I believe that you are like also calling or making an invitation for teachers to engage with their own CPD. And maybe in that way, they can also pay attention to the particular needs that they can have, right?
Absolutely. This is reflection goes hand in hand with learning and with developing. And this idea of microlearning, watching a video, watching a short infographic, a talk, whatever it is, doesn't end there if you don't reflect on what it is that you have learned, what your takeaways from that are, and then what happens when you apply that new knowledge or that idea or that tip in the classroom, and does it work for you? So I feel that teacher development should go hand in hand with at least mini classroom research, not formal research like writing a paper necessarily, but research as in trying things out, experimenting, seeing what happens, and then thinking about the results, evaluating the outcomes of these new ideas that we are trying to implement.
Which formally we call reflective practice, right? It is like
Exactly.
following the cycle, right? Well, regarding to this, we have two questions which are kind of similar from Sara Quiros and Rosendo Rodriguez. And it is related to how can we assess or how can we evaluate maybe what you can reach through microlearning or using this approach.
And this is connected with this idea of having a look and thinking about the impact that it has on your classroom. Unless your area of interest is something very abstract, we teachers want to develop teaching skills, and ideally these are practical skills that we can apply in the classroom. So that the best way to evaluate them is to put them into practice and see what happens. And two things that I really like incorporating in teachers' CPD offer is peer observation and self-observation. So this is something that teachers in the same school, teachers in the same district, teachers in the same organization can work out even informally amongst themselves. And asking a colleague, like, hey, today I'm going to try out this new, I don't know, gamification thing in my class with primary. Can you come in and can you sit in my lesson for a few minutes and take some notes and see how the students respond to this new technique or to this new idea? So peer observation is very helpful. Peer observation doesn't have to be somebody sitting in your classroom for 5 hours. You can just invite an observer for just to watch the opening routines of your lesson, or just look at this speaking activity in groups where I'm going to try out something different, and taking notes and seeking feedback, asking feedback from colleagues, from managers, from administrators, and just from other teachers, is always a great source of input for evaluating. And then, of course, if you have the chance, self-observation, because no one knows better than you yourself what it is that you wanted to achieve through that strategy, or through that activity, or through that innovation. So, for example, in my case, because I work with remote teachers, we have the chance to record some of the lessons. And so being able to watch back and think and look at the results of something new is fantastic, and provides so much food for thought.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We have a question which is not closely related to CPD, but I believe that it is also interesting. And Sara del Carmen Telles is asking if it is convenient to use this kind of activities with students that are in high school. And I believe that talking especially about the span that we can gain their attention. Could you please?
Absolutely. I would say yes. I would encourage her to try this out with high school students. I think not only it's a good idea, but we kind of have to change the type of input that we give teenage learners who are now fully digital natives, who have been through a couple of years of increased screen time, and their attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. So yes, I have found that teenagers and also children react better to short input in chunks than long texts, long video, long stories. And perhaps it's not necessarily about sacrificing content, but it's about this idea of chunking and presenting things in bite-sized portions, as you said.
And at the same time, we are like prioritizing and selecting, right? So that would be also useful in order to get to the point of microlearning. Well, um, unfortunately, we ran out of time. This always happens, and when we are engaged on these kind of talks. But thank you so much, Mariela. And I would like to invite our audience to give you a very, very big round of applause. Because, well, you delight us with this conference, and I believe that they are be willing to use all these techniques not only on their classrooms but also in their own CPD path. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
So we continue with the exhibition and the lunch break. So please stay with us because we have more things to learn. Thank you.